Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's OceansReviews here today. So we're back with another Nicolas Cage review, Nicolas Cage movie review, and this is a movie that I've kind of wanted to review for a little while. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Willy's Wonderland. Yeah, this movie it's full on Cage in this film. I have a few problems with it, but I still think it's a good movie, and I still think it's I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's enjoyable. So essentially, I'll give you the story about this movie. So Nicolas Cage is like passing through this sort of, I guess, like this town, or he's like he breaks down and someone sort of finds him. And, you know, his car finds that he's broken down, and then essentially the mechanic, you know, that tows, you know, his car or whatever says like, oh, well, you know, if you come into town, I'll have it up and ready and fixed for you in a couple of days, and maybe you can repay me and, you know, by doing a bit of work. So essentially, Nicolas Cage is given this job to clean up this, I guess, like this sort of play, sort of eating day center, like a Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know, that's what you call it in the US, a Chuck E. Cheese, where it's got like games and it's got like sort of fun mascots and stuff like that. And yeah, essentially he gets put there overnight to clean up this center because it's been like closed down, and they want to reopen it or whatever as such. And yeah, so Nicolas Cage starts doing that, and then some sort of teens break in, and the mascots of Willy's Wonderland are these killer animatronics. So yeah, that's essentially the plot of the movie. That's essentially the setup for it. I'll get down to it. Really, the supporting actors, like the teens, you know, in this film, that's sort of like pretty much they get killed off. It's like a horror film, essentially. You know, they're not really good actors. You know, they're pretty, you know, they weren't really that good, and it's kind of a bit average in that department of those. Anyone but Nicolas Cage is just sort of a bit, everyone I should say, but Nicolas Cage is just a bit average, you know. It's sort of, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But the animatronics, they would remind you of Five Nights at Freddy's. So if you guys have seen or have played that game, very similar. It's like kind of like a sort of similar situation, and I think they would have gotten the idea from that game maybe, if that's the case. But yeah, and then Nicolas Cage essentially just goes full Cage mode and just starts like hoeing into these animatronics and just killing them, and he's a badass in this film. It's a great movie if you want to watch some Cage. Just go full Cage mode. He gets into it. He's a lot of fun to watch on screen in this movie, I think. And it's sort of funny, like every time he kills one of these animatronics, he sort of like takes his break and goes into this like this kitchen or this room where he has a drink, and then he plays this arcade machine like nothing ever happened. He's just so cool-headed about it. It's kind of funny. He doesn't really talk much in this film. I don't even think he says a word. If I'm honest, I swear he doesn't even say one word in this movie, but he's just there. But it was quite interesting. I expected less, to be honest. Going into it, I thought, you know, it wasn't going to be amazing, which it wasn't amazing, but I feel like I got a lot more from it than what I thought I was going to get from it. I thought it was a fun time. I think it was enjoyable, and I think it's worth at least a watch if you're a Nicolas Cage fan. Because I think this is one that I'd probably go back to just to see Nicolas Cage hoe into some animatronics again, and just see him just go full badass action killing mode, because that's just what he was doing. He was just going nuts in this film. and you know, there's a lot of like blood and all sorts. It's pretty gruesome. It's a pretty gruesome sort of film. I would say this does fall under the category of like a horror film, of course, definitely. I think it's a horror film. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was a fun time. I think you guys would definitely enjoy this one. I wouldn't say it's his worst film that he's ever done, but it's not because of him. I feel like it's just the supporting actors around it. But the animatronics don't really look that good either. Like, they look okay. I mean, it's a pretty... there's nothing to really compare them to except like that Five Nights at Freddy's game. I'm not sure if there's a similar movie that's been done like this before. But they were okay looking. You know, some of them looked a bit weird. Like, it looks a bit, I don't know, just off. I guess, like, not the design, but just the way they move around and things like that, I suppose. But I thought it was a decent film, and I think it's one that I would revisit in the future. Had a lot of fun with this one. So yeah, that is Willy's Wonderland. So I'll show you a bit of the picture. So there's like the animatronics down here at the bottom. They're all sort of these bloodthirsty mongrels. Yeah, there's Nicolas Cage. He's pretty good in this movie, I think. I think he's quite enjoyable to watch on screen. I'll let you guys take a quick look at the sort of like, I guess, the blurb or the synopsis on the back and the specifications. But yeah, definitely, it's a fun film. I recommend it for a one-time watch, at least, if you're a Cage fan, of course. I feel like I wouldn't watch this film if he wasn't in it. Let's just say that. If he wasn't in this film, I wouldn't watch it, of course, I think. But yeah, there you go, guys. That's my review for Willy's Wonderland. Definitely let me know down below if you've seen this film, what you think of it, if you had fun with it, if you hate it, you know, let me know. Well, what did you think? I really enjoyed it. So yeah. There's my opinion. There's my take on it. But yeah, there you go. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I think I'll try to get back into the box set. I just wanted to sort of like, I didn't get the time to watch a Nicolas Cage movie yet. So when I get around to that, that'll be the next video. And yeah, so that'll probably be adaptation because I'm quite interested about that film. But yeah, so I just wanted to review this one because I have, I've already seen it and, I wanted to talk about it anyway. So it's on the list. It's on the list to talk about because, yeah, I'm doing all the Cage films, of course. So yeah, that's Willy's Wonderland. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.